CRN TV on location at Xchange news coverage is brought to you by Enable, a global software company helping IT service providers deliver security, data protection as a service, and unified endpoint management solutions.
Hello, my name is Cass, and I am here with Luis Armanderas. I'm so glad to have you today. We're going to be talking about rhythm and work and how we can combine work-life rhythm in order to be better in the channel. We have the opportunity of presenting together here at Xchange, and I just wanted to make sure we were able to bring that to you all on YouTube as well. Hi, how are you?
I'm amazing, and thank you so much for having me yesterday. I had a lot of fun, and to do this again today. Thank you.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about yourself and about your background as a solution provider.
Right now, I have a company called Gordon Lewis Group. We are doing technology integration consulting, so a little bit of some MSP work and helping companies that want to expand globally. And we are doing something in the digital marketing space as well, helping leaders work on their personal brand and expand their presence through marketing in other regions, not only in the US and vice versa. And I've been in the channel. I was in the MSP space for 10 years, so I got a lot of experience there, hence why I'm here.
So as you're building global teams, what are some of the tools that you use in order to manage across culture and as well as across time zone? There's a lot of challenges that come with that. Tell us a little bit about your expertise there.
I have a belief in a framework. It's not mine, obviously, but needs, values, purpose, and alignment. And it's important that as a leader, you do it for yourself, then you can do it with your company and then your team. And what is it? Is it trying to understand what your needs are, your true needs? And those are the things that when they're fulfilled, you feel at ease, you feel peaceful. Then the values are the things that you go around enacting that make you feel like you're aligned and it helps you meet your needs, and that helps you figure out your purpose. And I feel that spreads what we would call like positive energy, and actually helps things get accomplished a lot easier. People tend to follow you more. You tend to accomplish more. There's not much noise in your mind. So I always seek to do that myself internally first, and I'm constantly reevaluating what are my needs. A common one is like values. People sometimes have a value that is inherited, something that was trained into you, but is not really yours. So figuring out the difference, that kind of stuff, requires a lot of introspective as a leader. And then once you figure these things out, and they're not forever, so you got to practice them constantly, and then do that with your business, right? And see how that ties into company culture, to the mission, to the vision of the company, and make sure that all those things align, is what I believe is the best way of keeping well-being, not only in yourself, but in your teams and your environment.
Yeah, that's such great advice. You know, we're dealing with a lot of people who are zeros and ones people, who are engineers, who, maybe aren't used to leadership as being kind of less task-oriented and being more people-oriented. So what are some of the objections that you get when people are like, oh, well, I don't have time to do that, or I'm not able to do that, or where do I even start?
You just said it. The first thing anybody's going to tell you is I don't have time. And the reality is we don't have time. It depends on how you look at it. But the way I see it is you have to make the time. It's far more important than probably 95% of the things that you're doing. I think is finding those probably 10-minute things to do the what you can do internally. And the other one that they'll tell you is like budget. Like, I can't afford to do this. And those things, honestly, are not real. They're not very valid reasons.
So when you say budget, it's like, well, we have this project or we have this thing that's going on, and we don't have the ability to take away from the profiting of this project in order to make time and budget for fun things. Is that kind of where we're going with it?
That's one of the problems. It's like a fun thing for starters, which is like, sure, they can be fun.
Nice to have, not
nice to have, not a need to have. Like, we need to turn that around and realize how it affects retention, keeping your employees happy, increases productivity. But actually, that this is actually a solid investment in what you, I believe, have to do in the company. And you have to make sure that you're consulting with your team on what are the initiatives that you can take. Going back to the budget, a lot of these things are free, and the time is not that much. We're talking about 10, 15-minute activities that you can do, and you can organize people around, I don't know, having, again, some things that are like game night, which could be as simple as that. They're not going to cost you any money. They might cost you a little bit of time to give people the space to do something like that. And if you want to figure out exactly what to do, one of the main things and the mistakes that us leaders make sometimes is think that we know what our people need. And that's a huge mistake. And our solutions sometimes don't match. And that's why the budgets sometimes are wasted. They're like, we did this huge initiative where we're trying to bring people to well-being to this event. and nobody participated. Well, maybe because you didn't ask the people what it is that they want. So you have to first create those spaces where people can communicate, talk, and get to know what it is that their interest, what probably going to have a good effect, and based on that, bring them in the process of building those, let's call them fun activities, but I think more wild mindfulness and connection
Yeah.
that helps drive.
Yeah. I'm always interested in data. And so one of the things that we really pride ourselves on is being able to pull in some information and data from the channel. And so we're really excited to have our work-life balance study. It's typically focused on women of the channel, but this year we're really branching out to be able to include vendors, solution providers, men, women, people who are non-binary, really want to we want to learn, like, what are people actually experiencing, and hopefully we're able to bring that to some folks to learn a little bit more about
I think that's
their
incredibly important, and I'm glad you're bringing this up because a lot of, you were saying before, in IT or in technology, we're very like data driven, but we only think about quantitative data, right? Like if it's not zeros and ones, it's very hard to quantify. We ignore it. We have dashboards. We build dashboards and put amazing tools for our clients to manage productivity, and we have nothing in place for well-being. So companies can and should use qualitative information to turn it to do bigger analysis, right? You can ask your team 1 through 7, 1 through 10, how are you feeling this year? How are you feeling about cohesiveness, team, your alignment with the mission, vision, which seems like it's not that hard data, but it is if you compound it over year and year and year. Now, how do you know if what's happening in your company is due to something that's happening in your company and not the industry? That's where the information that you're picking up and providing is so important for us, because now I can contrast. Maybe my indicators of well-being in my company are going down a little bit. I can know if it's something that's happening across the industry. So I think it's really important that a lot of companies contribute to the kind of work that you do, to answer those surveys, to collect this data that we can share across the channel in the industry. I think it's fundamental for all of us to make sure that our teams can actually have a path to well-being in a healthy workplace.
Yeah. So let's get a little bit pragmatic. You mentioned a couple of things that people can do. You mentioned, I think you called it roaming. What did you call it?
Management by wandering around.
Yes, wandering around. Yes, I love it.
One of
Tell
my
us a little bit about
things.
those.
This actually was, well, made famous by HP a long time ago, which is in our industry as well. And the executives realized that going down to the manufacturing line, talking to the people, have a good connection with the people that are in all aspects, all departments at all levels in the company, provided them far greater insights than waiting for things to come up the chain of command. So they would see an error in the manufacturing process, or see somebody they got to know these people personally. So if they're like exhausted, or they would realize there's productivity issues, sometimes years or even months before it would really make it up the chain of command to them. So they can make decisions quickly, turn things around. They found a lot of power in that. My way of seeing that is I also apply the well-being side to that, because I think that's the greatest measurement. Once you have the baseline of the people that work for you, you can sense if something's going on. And that ties directly into retention and workplace well-being and productivity. Now, the question is, how do I wander around? I don't have a manufacturing line, right? I have all my employees are companies that are fully remote. How do you do this? And I think that's embracing the tools, which ironically, us in the tech industry work, develop, and use so much to provide for our clients or everybody else. It's just finding ways to use it in a fun way. So, for example, what I've done, you have your Teams environments, your Slack channels, whatever. Sometimes there's a lot of chatter that is not directly work in a troubleshooting channel. We created a space separately. In one scenario, we called it the family room, because we saw people were trying to talk about their families. So we created that space. Here's the family channel. Guys, go in there, talk, post, and people start posting pictures of their sons graduating from college, their grandchildren being born. And in that space, people can start sharing. And that's where you start listening. You just participate as a leader and be one of the people that are participating, and you start hearing what they're into. From that, we heard a lot of people started posting about their pets. And then they would do like they would do like a costume party for pets in a contest. Now you're creating the space that you're making up for. There's no water cooler anymore, but you can do that digitally. And then from that would come like game nights or other ideas. So you can find some sort of initiative in your company. Again, don't listen to what I'm saying right now and go and do a family room, because that might not be the culture in your company. What you have to do is create the channels and a space for them to tell you, and then start just being of service to your people in building the space.
So I hear digital creativity. I hear collaboration with the people that are in your organization. I hear a lot about making sure that you're finding data and information to support what your initiatives are, but not just giving things to people, asking what they would like to receive as well. You've given us so many insights and so many things to take away. Thank you.
Of course, my pleasure.
Awesome. Well, Luis, it's been a pleasure talking with you. I can't wait to do it again. Maybe we'll see you next year at Xchange or in Latin America. I think you're headed down to Mexico, right?
I'm heading to Mexico. The channel company is expanding the Xchange for years. They've been doing it now across the world, which is really impressive and amazing. And they did Argentina very recently. Now going to Mexico, and I'm hoping to be a voice that ensures that with all the growth that the channels and the globalization that's happened with IT, well-being is a very important part of that with all the technology that's coming down.
Thank you, Luis, for your time. Thank you, everyone, for watching. The State of Work Life in the Channel survey is live now. We would love your feedback. Please click below.